What's going on, Turd Nerds? Matt with Operator Mindset here, and in today's video we are going to take you through our process, quick and easy, how we set up our microscope slides. We put 1 drop of wastewater on there, and what we're going to do to examine those things. I lied, actually. We're going to put 2. I like to put 2 drops on there because it just makes my job easier without having to take it on and off. But we will be examining 1 drop at a time. We'll try to keep up with how we're moving through the slide. We're going to talk about how I prepare it, what we're looking for when it's actually up there, and how I'm actually moving across my slide to keep up with where I'm at. There's a whole world out there, guys, especially if you're an operator in the wastewater field or a lab technician, lab analyst, excuse me, and you have an activated sludge plant. You guys are missing out on so much if you're not utilizing your microscope. So let's get into it. Let's put these samples on the slides and let's see what the bugs are doing out in the plant. Turd Nerd out. Alright guys, so I've already set it up. I'm going to show you a top-down view of kind of what I'm working with here on the counter. But essentially what we have is our 2 samples. I've got my slides already out of the container and they're prepped. I got my little dropper. These are slide covers. Recommend using glass for both. Don't get the plastic, get the glass. It's going to give you way better quality just all around. So the first thing you want is you need the microscopic slides, and then you also need the covers right here. So you can once you get your glass covers, I have those set out. They're just sitting here so I can grab them easy. I also have this bibulous paper, and all it is just it literally is like paper that you draw on, but you just rip out your paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'll set that to the side and have that there. That's to dab our slide once we get the drop on there. So let's go first. This is basin number 2, and the first thing I want to do, this guy is kind of settled out a little bit. I'm going to gently mix this. This is very important, especially for the microscopic analysis part, guys. You do not want to shear your flock. I've mentioned flock shearing and misrepresentative samples in our settleometer video. Go check it out if you haven't. But it's very important that you gently mix these guys back up, because part of the microscopic analysis is actually looking at the flock size, looking how it's forming, and taking all that into account. So the first thing I do is I'm going to fill up my dropper. I like to get a few squeezes in there just in case there's anything left in that dropper. These guys come fairly cheap too. You could use a brand new one every time. I try to reuse them a few times myself, but anyways, so here we go. We got the dropper filled. I just let a few drops ease out, and now I'm going to bring it over to my slide and put 1 drop right on the slide. I'm going to do it again, get the drops flowing, and now I'm going to bring it back over to my slide and put 1 drop on the slide. So I get pretty close to the slide. We can set that stuff down now. I'm going to put the cap back on because you don't want to mess. Now I've got my slide covers already sitting here ready to go out, so that's very helpful having that set up. You can see on the slide there the drop of the sample is kind of fanning out. This slide is going to actually flatten it all the way out. So there's different techniques you can use, and for this specific technique we just put a drop on and we're going to drop the cover on as easy as we can. You can smear them once you get into the staining methods and all that. It gives you a better effect, and that's how you can actually see filamentous and study those and see what kind of problems you're having there. But for this, we just want to see the bugs, we want to see the flock. We're going to put 1 drop right there. We're going to gently ease that cover right over that drop. Alright, so we put 2 drops on, so I need 2 of these, and again I just set it on the glass and then gently drop it. Alright, now for that bibulous paper, this is not necessarily necessary. You could pick it up right off there and throw it in there, but I have found that it blots it. It kind of sets everything in there even. So you see I'm not like pushing real hard on my slide. This is just the excess liquid that actually got dropped out that could cause you know, could get on the microscope or cause problems reflecting. So there it is. Hopefully you can see that, and now it's time to get on the microscope. So we're going to cut out the lights just so it's more visually easier to film, and then we'll be back once this is on the scope. See you over there. We already got a little bit of activity. I'm going to be trying to address in you guys here, but also the main screen's obviously going to be the bug. So I'm going to make sure, be constantly making sure we're in focus and using the eyes here. I just saw a little bit of movement. Looks like we got some Crawling Ciliates right there. And we will put the official scientific names of the bugs on the screen as we see them. The terms I'm using are perfectly acceptable, and if that's how it helps you keep track in your mind what you're looking at, even better. So Crawling Ciliates, they're a good sign of life. The biggest thing we want in the microscopic analysis or evaluation is diverse life in our wastewater ecosystem. Now let's get over on our slide. I like to start on the corner, and I like to just go up the slide, and then as I get to the top of the slide, I slide over and watch it in frame, and as I get to a whole new section, then I come back down. So it's more of a up, down, over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down. It's kind of just a zigzag method. You could go side to side if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. Sorry, that kind of got out of focus there. So let's start our hunt, and here we go. We're going to start moving up the slide. That right there is just a very large air bubble. I did not do my job as good as I should have getting that cover on. That's just bound to happen. It's nothing you know, you need to worry about. What we're looking at here is the size of our flock. We're looking at how it's apart. If you would have shook that sample just really hard, it would have busted it all up and not been representative. So there's another free crawler right there, a little Crawling Ciliate. You see him crawling on there in between the two air bubbles. He's cool. Let's keep on moving. We'll try to get to something exciting. Also, once you get your slide prepared and on there, I like doing 2 drops side by side. That's fine for this process. If you just want to do one, totally fine too. But to get the most bang for your buck out of the slide, I like to go ahead and just get that drop on there. In this instance, I'm not going to be grading our flock or anything like that. I'm just looking for the organisms. So it's going to be kind of quick and dirty analysis today. No pun intended, even though it's wastewater. So there's another crawler. So we've seen a few of those now. The flock does look good. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I gotta pay attention to that. And comment below if you see something in the video that you'd like to know more about, or you'd like me to stop and talk about. I will do my best to answer those questions, and then to obviously talk more about them. So here I am going over now. We kind of got to the top of the slide. I'm going to start easing my way back down, and this is just that zigzag method so I don't miss anything. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Oh, there we go, our first amoeba right there. Let's make sure he's coming in. Yeah, he's kind of like a glowing critter thing next to that big hook. Let's try to zoom in and get you guys a little bit closer. Amoebas are so cool. They're obviously they're some of the youngest life that there is out there. They are an indicator of very young life, and it's okay to see them. Yeah, that's coming through real good. But they're just this blob of existence, and that's how they move around, and it's how they crawl, how they climb, how they bring stuff in to actually consume it. But you can see them in this form. It's pretty neat. Some are bigger than others, some are smaller, but it would definitely not be a good indicator if you're looking under a microscope and all you see are amoebas or flagellates, the guys with the little tails. If that's all you're seeing, that is a very big indicator of young sludge. So we definitely don't want to do that. If that's what you're seeing, you might want to really consider slowing down on your wasting. You're getting too many of your bugs out there. So that's really cool seeing that guy, watching him move around like that. And let's zoom back out. What we can see, got excited, thought it was a Bristle worm for a second, but it's not. It's just a big long piece of sludge. I did see some movement right there. Let's try to zoom in on that guy if we can get in there. He's going to be a free swimmer, it looks like. Oh yeah. Sorry. Let's get adjusted here. Making sure it's good for y'all. So we actually got 2 of them. You see the one guy on top of this piece. It's like they're playing a quick game of hide and go seek. That one, he's got the hairs all over him. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see it. he's got hairs all around his body, so he's just another free swimmer. He's going to be kind of crawling around, swimming around, doing his thing. Those are good to see as well. Pretty cool to watch. He's kind of like the upgraded version of an amoeba. But you see them from time to time, and again, too many of those could be an indicator of younger sludge. Looking good so far. We got a few different signs of life, which is always good. There goes somebody just swirling across the page there. You see that? Yeah, he's looking for his buddy. He's going to hang out. That is a very long piece of poop. Alright, so we are moving back down the slide and looking for our next specimen, and I believe we found him. There he is, creeping in on the bottom of your screen there. You're gonna see a bristle worm. These guys are pretty big. They're always very large in comparison to the other bugs that you really see in the plant. Cool to see. They're really just provide you a lot of action in case you're having a dull slide, but they also can be a sign. Their predominance indicates older sludge, so it's alright if you see one or two, you know, but you don't want to be seeing like 15-20 bristle worms in one drop. That'd be an indicator that you might need to increase your waste in there. But those guys are always cool to see. The little whiskers on them, and just kind of like, it's like he's just figuring it out. It's kind of weird watching them, but I've seen them kind of interact in and around other critters before. It's cool watching, you know, like a water bear bounce off of one or something. Always cool to see. But let's keep going and see what we can find here. Everything's looking good so far. So even though we've only had a few runs up and down the slide, we haven't seen necessarily any stalked ciliates yet. There's nothing to be concerned about. There could be a chance you run through a whole slide and you might sometimes see none, but you might only see one stalk on there, one little vorticilla growing by itself on a piece of sludge, and that's okay as long as you saw them. If you went, you know, all week and didn't see one, I might start getting a little concerned, but that's also the way my plan is. I know they're in there, and so if all of a sudden they just disappeared, that would be an indicator to me as the operator, like, hey, we need to do a deeper dive into our process control and really figure out what's going on. So you see that bubble moving there? That can be weird. I don't know if that actually got caught on camera there. As you're actually sitting here watching the slide is always drying, so it is above a light and the light is shining up through it, so it's going to be drying out your slide as you move. So that could be another reason why, if you're going to be there a while hanging out. There goes a guy. He wasn't on screen yet. I could see him. There he is. He's just a little, looks like a little noodle swimming back and forth. He's going to be kind of quick. I need to look into what he is. I'm not sure just at first glance. There's a few of them actually on the screen. That's crazy looking. Let's see if we can get a little closer up. They're moving kind of quick. Oh, no, focus in. Not sure if you guys are focused in yet. There he is. Come back in frame, little dude. Try to get a better picture of him so I know what he is. So duly noted. We're going to figure out what the little French fry looking guy was. Very cool. And that's the thing to consider, guys. You don't have to know everything to be able to do this, but you as the operator actually looking at your bugs and starting to gain a greater knowledge of them is going to benefit you so well, not only in just your exam capabilities, but just knowing your plant and understanding your process. It brings a whole new level to the game of understanding what's going on. But we got a few critters here. Let's see here. Right there, you see that little guy at the bottom? That's actually an older sheath. I don't see a stalk in there, but it is just an old sheath sitting there that we're zooming in on now. And let's try to get you focused in. Yeah, there you go. That's just another free swimmer. He's kind of got, oh, my bad. There he is. So that is actually an old sheath from a stalked ciliate, and that's just a free swimmer. It looks like he's chilling out, just munching on some dookie. Nothing wrong with that. But you see those little hairs he's kind of flicking? That's how he's propelling himself around. So another good sign of life right now. But there's an old rotifer. So rotifers are bigger, larger. They are larger creatures. They are like the bristle worm or the water bear. They're metazoas. So they are multicellular. And a lot of rotifers indicates older sludge. It's okay to see a few though while you're doing your thing. Again, what do we keep referring back to, right? We want diverse population. That's the last time I'm going to say it, I promise. Maybe. Yeah, always cool to see a rotifer. The way they kind of like lurch across the screen there. We try to get a close up while he's just chilling. Of course, as soon as I do, he's liable to take off running. But really cool to see them. Kind of got like that side arm there. Sometimes they're extended. And you can see those teeth moving. I'm trying to get it focused in for y'all. Those teeth are kind of like that windmill effect, and that's what's bringing stuff to him as he's eating. And he does these weird, like, looks like really long lunges across the screen. That's how he kind of moves around and grips it with the back of his tail. Very cool to see and just watch. You can see their like insides working. Super cool watching these guys. But again, too many of them, it's not good for your process. Let's keep going, because I know everybody's just dying to see a water bear. And I'm not just saying that knowing there's one coming. I am right here with y'all. We're just moving along as we go. And boom, there's another amoeba. So that should show you, like, it's not always the case of you seeing one or the other. Sometimes you're gonna see, I'm about to break my rule, that diverse life, and that's good. That is such a good thing. We watch this amoeba for a second. He's just chilling, moving his insides around, strolling down the street. He's headed to the grocery store right now, and he probably just said what's up to his rotifer buddy. Those guys on the screen there, that little donut looking thing, I've actually got him on the chart here, and it's a shelled amoeba is what it says, and it's called in parentheses a donut. I do not know too much about them, in all honesty. I see them a lot in our system and really just don't pay them no mind. They're not as sorry, that's kind of got out of focus for y'all. They're not as active, obviously. I just see them kind of chilling there, so I move on. But that is, according to my big chart here, that looks like it could be that donut shelled amoeba. So just to note that in case you're running into those guys. Alright, moving down our slide here, and I think that is a gastrich. If you guys can see that little dude in the bubble there, he's kind of glowing at the time. I'm going to try to get in there, and I am probably butchering how you say his name. If we can get in as close to him as possible. Yeah, he's kind of got like these weird looking scaly spines all over him. They're pretty cool. Looks like he might be trapped in there. They got the forked tail similar to a rotifer. I'm trying to get it in focus. And looks like he might be caught in the bubble. But they have like these weird kind of scales that run along them and look like spiky almost. They're pretty cool to see. They're also older metazoans. I don't really see these a lot. I see them every so often. And whenever I do, I think it's pretty cool, honestly. It's just one of those ones I don't get to see a lot in my system. Good. Again, predominance of them probably is not going to be good, because you're going to be dealing with older sludge at that point in time, and that's not the name of the game. Hopefully that's coming up good. You can kind of see that scaly look to them. It looked like it just kind of flickered. They're really cool guys to see, especially when they're out in the open and they kind of fan them out. Always cool. Let's keep going. We might run into another one. Always cool to catch them like that. They can be moving pretty fast too, though. Going back down our slide, and we're getting pretty close to the end. We might go right back up this one more time, and then we're going to move over to the next slide. everything I'm seeing, guys, indication of good signs of life. It's been multiple different species of bug. We got good looking flock. The color looks good. I'm also going off of other key indicators, right? So I have what I just saw, what I just pulled my mixed liquor sample from. The basin looks great. The numbers that we are getting looks great. We did have a slight drop in our pH this morning, so that's another reason why I'm doing both basins. I want to try to see what's going on in there and if there's any kind of big changes in the actual microorganism life, just to go along with that. But so far so good. I haven't seen anything that's worrisome or would be any indicator that I need to go change something else. There's a little dude just kind of floating, stuck to the sludge there. So cool. Alright, we are going to slide on over, boom, to our next slide, and it is just that easy. So that's another quick reason why I like to have 2 drops on there. You do take the risk if you take too long of it starting to dry out on you, but I didn't have to take it off and get the dripper and all that. So there's another free swimmer. He looks like he's in between that sludge sandwich right there. Make sure you guys are focused in. So on the screen there that you guys can see, it's actually a slight little bit zoomed in. I'm actually on a 10 times zoom right now, and whenever I'm going back, so that's a 100, and whenever I'm going zooming in, I'm actually going up to a 40 times, which would be a 400 zoom to get a little bit closer. But the tablet stays a little bit closer in kind of the whole time, and so my view through the eyepieces here is a little wider. That's why I can see kind of what's coming before we get to it on the screen. Here's that little French fry guy. That's probably the most non-scientific name there is out there. I know you guys are chanting right now, water bear, water bear, water bear, and I'm failing you. I'm sorry. There's bound to be one in here. I know you're not going to believe me, but I literally went up and then back over, and now here we are. We've found the tardigrade. All it took was y'all chanting like that, so keep it up. The entire time you're on the video, the longer y'all chant water bear, the more chances, the odds are we're going to find one. He heard the call. Let's get him on screen for you. A little close-up action. Get that fixed up. Tardigrades, as y'all know, if you've been checking out some of my videos, these guys are like the bug of the wastewater industry. Look at his claws. That's actually his jaws, that kind of Y shape with the line through it. That's his jaws on the inside of the mouth and head there. And you can see these guys. I see them anytime in my process. They are a metazoa, so multicellular. They've got a little bit more fame than some of the other guys. They've been sent to space. They were in the movie, one of the Avengers movies, so I think it was Ant-Man 2. And just a cool guy to watch. They're always fun to watch. They're usually moving around. Sometimes you even get to see kind of their old carcasses, and you can see the eggs in them, actually count the eggs. It's pretty awesome. I know I need to do more due diligence and studying on the water bear, but I get to see them a lot. For almost every sample I pull, I get to see them. I'm not bragging for those of you that don't get this opportunity. But now you're here, you're watching this, and it's kind of the same, right? Super cool. Glad we got to see one. I know I could stay here probably all day just watching the guy do his thing, but actually it's more than likely a female. I think like 90% of them are female. But anyways, we will, look at that, he's giving you all the high five. He's like, get on out of here. So we're gonna keep moving and we'll see what else comes up on the slide. But we got to see a water bear. How about that? All it took was a little bit of chanting. So really cool watching them. This guy's really, he's not as active. Look at the legs kicking out. He's trying to move. He might be hung up on something for the time being, but sometimes these guys, I mean, they're really getting down and moving. It's hard to keep up with them, and then sometimes they're just chilling. But I don't complain when they're chilling like this because it's easier to film and just get to study them some. So super cool watching them. At this point in time, we have not seen large amounts of stalk ciliates or anything like that. We've seen some of the remnants of them, some of the shells, seen one or two just super small ones, but we've seen lots of other diverse life. So that is the indicator to me that everything in our process is going good, along with how it looks out there, that light brown color, the air's going good in it, the aeration is good. Our mixed liquor number is good. So all of those factors come into play, and you never want to just say, oh my gosh, I didn't see but one of these stalk ciliates, and just go start making a bunch of adjustments. So make sure you are taking everything around you into consideration before making big changes, and documentation is key. I can never say that enough. Alright, Turd Nerds, we're going to end it on that last good bug there. Super cool getting to see that guy. Again, cannot speak to it enough. Especially you operators out there that have activated sludge as your process, be studying your bugs. Pull out those microscopes. You don't have to have a setup this big and this fancy. This is a very nice microscope, and I'm very blessed to have it. But you can achieve the same results, see the same bugs on just a lot cheaper microscopes and a lot older microscopes. I would be willing to bet a lot of you guys out there have microscopes sitting in your lab on a shelf just collecting dust. So we're going to get into that in future content. We're going to go over this microscope, its brand, ones just like it, and then also cheaper versions, alternate routes that you as operators can still use to study your bugs and have a greater understanding of the process. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is about, being able to actually see what's going on out there in the process, and then use this test along with all your other process control to make an overall decision of whatever's going to best benefit you at your plant. Cannot speak to it enough. It's a great tool to use and be familiar with. Look forward to putting out more content just like this. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff just like this. Till then, Turd Nerd out.